Hey, Pat Markford from the Pat Markford Show. Should the sellers do a final walkthrough prior to closing before the buyer gets there to do their final walkthrough? And the answer is yes. So let's talk a little bit about that. The reason why is because you're moving, you're getting everything done, you're cleaning the place up, but all of a sudden in the last week or 2 weeks, you don't know, there's some things that aren't working right now. So let's talk about what you got to do. I got to show you a couple resources, and we'll get into it a little bit. People always ask me, Pat, where do you get your information? What are your resources on a lot of the questions that you ask? Well, let's check it out. Yes, here it is. I got a blueprint for home buyers, a book that my son and I wrote, and we also got a blueprint for sellers. And in both of the books, it's the same checklist. This is the final walkthrough checklist. And I'm going to go through the final walkthrough checklist with you, but I want to talk about it. Okay, why do you want to do this? Okay, so you've cleaned the house, you've got everything done, but you've had other movers there. But there's some things you haven't. Sometimes you move out 2 weeks before, a week before, and sometimes it's right at the last minute. But you want to do a walkthrough. You want to hit the pause button prior to when that buyer comes through, because you don't want to be surprised at closing. You might. Can you imagine that there are little things that happen and all of a sudden they say, well, you know what, we need to get this fixed prior to closing, and you're only hours away. So let's talk about some of the lists that's on my list here, okay? One is you want to open and close every door and every window. Make sure that all works. The second thing is test every light fixture, test every light switch, okay? Examine the floors, walls, and ceilings in every room. The one thing that you want to do is you got to make sure that there's no staining on the ceilings, because sometimes you've had a rain in the last couple of days and all of a sudden, oh, you know what, we have a leak going on here. Hold on a second here. The other thing is you want to run the water in the kitchen and in the sink and make sure that it's hot, and check to see if there's any leaks underneath. Run the garbage disposal. I've had people at the last minute, sorry about this, the garbage disposal doesn't work at the last minute, so you got to fix it. It became an issue at one of my closings. Test the oven and all the burners, and also test the exhaust fan to make sure it's in working order. Another one of my closings with my buyers, one of the burners didn't work. Well, we had to talk about how that had to be taken care of. Flush every toilet and make sure that the base of the toilets are sturdy and they're not leaking. Okay, just had that happen not too long ago either. Run the water, I've said this before, but run the water in all of the sinks, the baths, and also run it in the showers. Make sure you run the water there and check for temperature in all those areas. Again, check for any leaks. Run the furnace if you can, even in the summertime. Turn that furnace on to make sure it works. And in the summertime, run the air conditioner. You can't run the air conditioner in the wintertime because you can't do that. Again, test all the appliances besides the oven. Check the dishwasher, the washer, the dryer. And this is all on my checklist, okay? The microwave. And make sure they're all in working order. And then let's say that the house has a sprinkler system and it's your house again. Turn the sprinkler on before they get there, and you might want to have to tell them how to do the sprinkler system, but you just want it on when they get there, so that way they know it's in working order. They don't need to ask about it. It's no surprises. You want to eliminate all surprises. That's the thing. You want to eliminate any surprises, because you're all done, you moved out, you're tired, and you don't want to have to go, oh, this little thing. Test the remote systems. Now, what are the remote systems? Test the garage door opener, check the alarms, the smoke alarms, and then also make sure that fireplace, if it's a gas fireplace, that it's in working order. Sometimes people can't get the fireplace working. So my advice is, you as a seller, just turn it on. Even if it's in the middle of the summertime, turn that gas fireplace on, and so that way they don't need to try and figure it out. And then make sure all items are removed from the house, the basement, the garage, the storage shed. You might have asked other people to do this, but remember, you as the seller is the one that's responsible for all the items that I'm talking about. Nobody else. So if you're having other people help, and then also just really do a quick walkthrough and just say, you know what, are they going to say anything? Because you don't want the closing held up over a minor issue, okay? If you can, send a seller my way or a buyer my way. I greatly, greatly appreciate this. Share this. That would be great. Like this if you can, too. www.patmarkford.com. I got about 50, 60 videos, both for buyers and sellers. And then those books, they're free right now, but they're going to go on Amazon pretty soon. So then you're going to need to pay money for them. So anyways, hope you guys are having a good night. Talk to you later.